At 50. At 80.
We're listening to Christie's Sotheby's auction. If you're interested in artwork, go to johnforcongress.com or type in John Kitover on YouTube or Google. Follow me. We can discuss art. If you're looking to buy or sell art, call 312-498-0517. That's right. John Kitover is an art broker. Just text or call 312-498-0517 or type in John Kitover Art on Instagram, YouTube, Meta. We don't do a website, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want to own a website. We want to just use the platform. So, John Kitover Art Broker Incorporated. Call 312-498-0517 or subscribe to this YouTube channel right now. This is your Christie's Artwork ASMR experience. It's Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Like, share, subscribe. Now, this is Christie's live. We're also recording this.
800,000.
This is John Kitover, art broker, art gallery, art dealer. Call 312-498-0517. This is Christie's Live. We are here bidding on art. It's Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Like, share, subscribe now. This piece is going for 850,000 pounds.
900,000.
900,000. We could duplicate this thing for fucking $30.
1 million. Let's have 1 Olivier. At 1 million pounds with Maria. Olivier, 1,100,000. At 1,200,000. I mean 3. I mean 4. I mean 5. I mean 6. At 1,600,000, Olivier. At 1,600,000 pounds, it is for you, Maya. Sold. Battle 849. Congratulations. At 1,600,000.
$1.6 million for a piece of metal.
This unique version from 1994 shown on the screen.
This one's really cool
And we
piece.
should start here at 300,000 and 20 and 50. At 350,000. At 350. At 350,000. At 350,000.
350,000 for a piece of metal standing like that.
380,000. It's 400,000 now with Keith Kin. 420. But you can bid 500 if you want. 4. 450,000, 480, 550, 550, with Olivier Camus now at 550, at 550, ahead of all of you in the room, at 550 for the Gormley. Last chance, Christian, Loulou, Maria, at 550,000 pounds. It's yours, Olivier. Total 839 for 550. And finally, the last lot from the Fantonaut collection. And we may even be reoffering a lot. Will be a special surprise from Nick Finch, lot 231 for the bowler. And let's start here at 380, 400,000 and 20 and 50 with me in the book at 450. It is here with me in the book at 450. At 450,000. It is here with me with an absentee bid. I'm selling it for 450, 480,000 with Peter on the telephone at 480. It is with you then and selling the Flanagan at 480. Yes or no? 480 it is for you at 480 to paddle 851. And now we are reoffering lot 210. Lot 210. I found it. Yes, amazing. What do I need to read? Okay, I think I get that. 210, yes, this, no? Yes. Okay, lot 210. Okay, got it. So, lot 210, which is going to reappear on the screen. Lot 210. Lot 210, the Max Ernst, which is this time the last lot, or the last lot of the Fantonaut collection. And we should offer it here at 800,050, 900,050, at 950,000, at 950, at 950,000. £1 million to Nick Orchard. With you, Nick, at £1 million. What a surprise. At £1 million and selling, fair warning to the room and to the online bidders and everyone else selling otherwise to you. So, it's about 803 for £1 million. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, this is John Kitover. This is the John Kitover Art Gallery. Call 312-498-0517 to view our catalog and art brokerage portfolio that we have. Something I'm going to have to start creating this profile and building it out. I used to work for Scott Lynn, who owns Masterworks. They invest in high pieces of artwork. And that was a Christie's live stream. It's really interesting from a communication perspective and even hypnosis perspective and framing perspective. It's truly fascinating to watch, but we just recorded millions and millions and millions of dollars in artwork just sold instantaneously. Hope you enjoyed that experience. This is John Kitover.
When I was growing up, all the shit was paint.
This guy's been studied by the government because him and his family got abducted by aliens. So there's a whole other level of agenda at foot, bro. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people with this higher consciousness, this higher understanding, actually play a role unknowingly in this higher agenda, this alien agenda.
When can we watch this interview at, Augustus?
It's gonna be on my YouTube channel I just created last week.
Oh, do you mind, or you can put it in my back chat so I can come and subscribe to you?
Yeah.
Definitely do that, bro. If you can,
Yes,
post
please.
it in the chat. Send it to our back channels. I'm tuning in, bro. You ain't got to worry about James King not being there. I am more than intrigued, and this is where the real information is. Augustus is a true seeker, and he is one of the few that has access to people that I could only dream of. We would be in the preservation, and I would say certain things, and Augustus could go verify it in 24 hours. That's why I love working with him. That's one of my brothers. All praise to the Most High.
And Brother James, you and Augusta, let me thank you all for your service. You know, when you see people who've been in the military and you say, thank you for your service. See, this is where I say thank you for your service. He says war, spiritual war, etc. And as you just heard Michelle, want that information. So I know, even with my brother running, Wolf, and James, you and Augusta, y'all are a breath of fresh air, but courageous. And James, thank you for having the courage to talk about that experience. Like I used to talk about, my vision or my visit to that ship with those women. And I was afraid, in the beginning, to tell somebody, because I was like, oh man, everything that I'm doing now, they're going to think that I'm crazy. After all, we thought he was making sense. And when I mentioned that I went on that ship, when I was living in the Robert Taylor homes, Chicago, and those women, the beautiful black women open, when that door came open, I was getting ready to take off. I think that's where my track speed came from. But I didn't run, and they allowed me to get on. And they were some of the most beautiful, amazing black women. It was men on there, but the women, they were with adornment, like rubies or pearls or diamonds, and just something sparkling. And they were so superior. They was like 7 feet tall. They were very tall. And
Relieve sufferers.
it was one of the most amazing experiences.
I cannot see him
ever.
again.
And I was young. I was
until
like
I have seen
15, 16, and I was wondering, damn, am I the only one that can see this? And so I don't know who else, but yeah, man.
Speaker Gregory, I think I might have that experience tonight. I got a date with an alien. We got a reservation booked on Booksy at a UFO restaurant.
Yeah, I don't basically,
I heard the Ayatollah's having the same experience.
because the word alien, to me, and I get it because it's what people can understand. But I know, like, when they talk about the mothership, the wheel, and the baby plane that's on there. So my question to James and Augusta is, what is it? What's the fear when
entities and community and all of these things? There is a different approach, and there is more empathy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And they have more programs that reflect the liberalness of this state. Even though we're in Orange County, which tends to be a little bit more conservative, even with being in Orange County.
So where are you? Where are you exactly?
I'm in front of my spot.
You're in front of your spot. Now? Because, they're threatening to throw someone out of the room,
Could you
throw
just,
them down.
could you just speak?
That's
Could you
not
just speak
nice.
now, please?
No, because you know what? Because I gave you money, and I was going to continue to up the ante and give you more money. And in that case, I think I've earned some respect. Okay, people that are funding your thing, yeah, I do. Okay, there's no reason to push me down like a little kid. Go sit in the corner. All I was going to say was Johnny had a point that things of yours have gotten stolen, and we don't want to see that happening. You have an approach that won't happen. So that won't happen.
The power station that was stolen did not happen here. In fact, I believe it to be an adolescent inline skater, probably very affluent, who stole my power station. Just like no.
So. Lastly, do you see our concern at all, or we're just fucking idiots?
I think there's a level of ignorance. Not. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm here on the ground every day, and I have a very good sense of what's going on. And no, there's not this fear that's engulfing this area at all. And so when I hear people mentioning, "Don't you understand? Are you naive?" And this and that, I could literally interview 20 people and they'll tell me the same thing. I know this, okay? That's why I did it for you guys, not for my benefit. I already know. But you guys have an idea, and again, you guys are having an idea not based upon being here to observe anything.
John, you just heard the lady. She said, I am sure that many people are afraid.
No,
Did you just ignore that?
No. I do, because once again,
you do.
Because what she supposes about other people is actually not accurate as well. And so in other words, she's like viewing, well, I could see how there's other people that would be afraid, and that's in response to what I said, what you guys said online, and so she's just trying not to invalidate that, and so that's why I said. I can ask 20 people. I'm pretty confident about 19 out of 20 people would say, no, I'm not afraid. I could probably ask 20 people that are homeless. You think that the people here are afraid of you, right? The guy that I asked right now, like, the guy's pretty, can be menacing, right? He can, if violent, you want to be afraid of him. But he's very adamant to say, no, the people here are not afraid of him. The residents are not afraid of him. And this is what I already knew before I asked him. I didn't lead him into any direction.
It's weird because I think if I were to walk down the streets of LA or Carson or Vernon or wherever that I have been, by the way, with my skin-headed look and my boots and my jean shorts, I guarantee there are people.
And all that
I
stuff,
do know something about it. I've been there like several hundred times, by the way, John. But I do think people would be afraid of it. Yeah, John. When you tell me I don't know anything about it,
this is not Vernon.
Guess what? I understand it's not
Vernon.
John.
Bloods and Chris area.
John. I've been to Compton. I've been to Vernon. I know, John. But when you tell me I don't know anything about it. When I know more about my
experience, this part, sir.
John, that's not what I said.
With all due respect,
that's not what I said, John.
But you commented on the people here.
John.
Not Vernon, not Compton. Okay.
I could walk in that park, and I promise you, there would be somebody.
That's South Central.
There would be somebody that would be.
You literally want me to walk around and start asking questions?
No, I just think that.
Nobody's
afraid of me. That's bullshit.
No, I'm going to ask the rest.
It's bullshit.
Okay, they're well aware of the homeless people because they live here.
Why do they want them out so bad for?
Well, not everybody. This lady
not
right
every
here,
single person.
This person right here is not the type to call the police to tell them to do about it. From what I see in this person, she cares about the very people she feels sorry for. The word she used was, I have empathy for them.
I found it. Yes, amazing.
Matt Adams doesn't want these people living next door to him. He still has empathy for them, John.
Matt Adams has not met a single person or talked to a single person here. And so once again, without being offensive, Matt Adams has an idea of something. He doesn't know what's going on here, and neither do you.
If I lived, well, I'm trying to ask you a question. If I
you're
lived
telling me
right,
you've been
right
to
there, where is
Carson,
it?
and you've been to Vernon.
Okay, this is a different question, John.
Hundreds of times you said.
Yes,
Please,
actually, I have, John. But let me ask you this.
I've probably been through this thousands of times, John.
I don't care. If I
And I'm
moved into
telling
that
you that
neighborhood
it's not a
adjacent to
comparison.
John, what? I don't care. John, if I moved in that neighborhood adjacent park or wherever, could you reassure me and my family that we are safe in the vicinity of all of these homeless people? You could assure, right?
I think that I bet you there's less crime here than your town, which you probably feel.
Can you assure me of that, John?
I'm willing to wager.
Okay, guess what? Guess what would happen? Guess what would happen?
That I would lose?
No. If you tried to do that, if you tried to reassure me that my family is safe and you're involved,
I'm not trying to reassure you, sir. Your feelings could be.
I asked the question.
Irrational. Hang on, sir. Your feelings could be based upon. I mean, your thoughts about it, your attitudes could be based upon.
So you can assure me that
something irrational. No, sir.
So you can't assure me that my family will be safe. Okay, well, this is why people have a problem with you bringing more people
I'm not
together.
here to assure anybody.
A community, because you're like exacerbating the fear that they have.
Well, actually, I have a good
bringing more people into the community.
Hang on, sir. The more people I bring around my table, it seems to me that a lot of the social workers are asking me, asking the police, and making things to
I'm not reading that shit.
facilitate.
The fuck am I gonna get? What am I gonna get out of reading that shit?
There's like a situation of more people
boinking a fucking
for the food.
Really?
It's like take a run at a scripture. What's wrong?
Yeah, really?
You're going on 4chan and saying that it's divine.
Yeah, and they had the superior language. They had the superior language over the Greek, but you're telling me that they had to go around fucking all the animals to figure out that it. Come on, man.
Oh my goodness.
So fucking smart.
I was kind of shitting bricks to tell them the story of the esoteric or the so-called, the myth of Adam and Eve as an origin story, right? Because they actually believe that there was a man such as Adam, and he was black, and he had this whole freaking thing, shebang going on. I got jiggy with it, and then had these children, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was a very scary moment in my life to tell Jamie that, especially with Illumira. So...
Makes a lot of sense. These big apologists in a room like Trilla and Dre. Fucking, could you believe Illumi? You would have took this debate from him. He said, debate me, not on Isaiah 53. He let Isaiah 53 go. He's like, you know what? You want to debate about Isaiah 53? That's fine. We'll debate about Isaiah 53. But you have to debate me on Jesus being the Messiah. Do you know that these guys didn't want to debate? Illumi, would you have passed down that debate?
Why?
No.
What I'm saying is this, okay?
Of course not.
If it's the case,
It's not. They'd rather talk about Isaiah 53 and bring up rabbinical fucking Jewish writings. That's some shit baptized over the done.
The nation of Israel.
Yeah, the nation of Israel.
How come we never talk about Yasu, the black scientist that invented white people? What, you guys didn't hear about that from the Nation of Islam? So there's an evil scientist in Islam that created white people through genetics.
Bro, we're talking about Isaiah 53, bro. Like, I don't know what you were saying. Shit.
No, this is like an offshoot of Islam. They call it the Nation of Islam, and they believe in there is a black scientist that created white people. I had to look into it.
And in the words of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, these Yakubian devils, these swine merchants, these bringer of 6,000,
666 diseases. He's white.
Is everybody on this app trying to be a comedian?
Because it's fun.
It's not comical. It's the actual words of Elijah Muhammad.
Guys, we only have limited time on this plane. Like, is this really, you want to go out as a clown?
Oh,
I don't know where the fuck I put my. This looks like I watched too much Joker. Like, don't you know that like that shit is cursed? And saw what it did to that guy.
What's wrong with you and your freaking superstitions? Like, what have you got into some woo-woo and voodoo bullshit?
Guys, no, I believe your body.
You're becoming intolerant.
Yes, no.
The guy is wearing a hijab and running around with the sword.
Ribono Shalom. I have returned to share more Rumi poetry with my brothers and sisters here in the Clowniverse, aka the Complainium.
Hold on 1 second. So,
Money coming from you.
so we have these non-Trinitarians on this app having God's lawyer, aka fucking the Jewish.
Bro,
Hold on. Wait. The Jewish Hamza, God's lawyer, literally the Jewish Hamza, right? And now he's literally telling Dre and Trilla, I'm telling you, your Messiah is the false Messiah. All you have to do is debate me and tell me he's the real Messiah. They wouldn't fucking debate it. You know why? Because they're not Trinitarians.
Ooh.
It's like going up to a Muslim and then tell him to defend, the Talmud.
Yeah, but Barth, isn't there like a...
And then the challenge, be quiet. Then the challenge was Tanakh only. Alumi. They said Tanakh only to prove that Jesus is the Messiah. I would have been like, sure. No doubt. He wants to use rabbinical sources. This fucking baptizer.
Who is this guy?
That's what I'm gonna call him.
Who are you talking
You know
about?
who they are. We're talking about Dre and Trilla.
Oh.
Embarrassments to Christianity. Who are they? I guess, apologists or whatever.
They're agnostics at this point.
I mean, isn't this where ChatGPT can actually, bridge the divide? And because they clearly just don't understand the formula.
They used, this is the most embarrassing part. He came in here, me and Daniel, minding our own fucking business, and he pulls up a number from a midrash. He pulls up a number from a midrash. What was the midrash? Yeah, let me post it up on the top. Hold on a second. You guys think I'm bullshitting you. This is how you know how they just word farming, right? Let me look it up. Hold on a second. I got it in my history right here. What was it, Daniel? Losing it.
Daniel's on the line, is on hold with customer service right
He's
now.
on hold. He's on hold. Fuck, it's on my iPad.
All right, well, Rabono Shalom, let me know when you're ready for another Rumi poem.
Let me see if it's in my Jewish.
Here's our
category.
22 millimeter. The bullets in the movie glow green, and I suspect that's some sort of magic. I don't have magic, but I have the next.
It was really
two install the
embarrassing.
magnets here.
John, how come
And
you
then
don't
these
do
two, what
Dr. Seuss one
dug
of
into the
these
tape
days?
a ton.
No, those are good poems.
I have done Dr. Seuss. I always ask people, what's the secret hidden message in Dr. Seuss? And I always hear all kinds of crazy different responses. But if you've actually read it, you understand that, the whole point is to try to get kids to try new things. But there's all these like hidden messages in it. Oh, my favorite crisis actress has arrived. How are things in the bunker in Tel Aviv, Danny?
Why is that funny?
It's hilarious.
He said he was selling my pictures in the Tel Aviv and.
That was actually really good.
That was good.
Who said that, Danny?
That was so unexpected, too.
How dare you talk to my Danny like that? You fucking talk to them.
What if they showed like
They're
pictures?
not working for him. They're lying.
Thanks for accepting all my Facebook friend requests, Danny, across my 100 different accounts. You are my favorite crisis actress. I saw a wedding in a bunker in Tel Aviv, and wow, Rabboni Shalom. You know, it's almost like ancient days in Rome when Saint Valentine was marrying people in the catacombs. Hello?
Hello.
Here it goes. I found it. Let me show you the argument that Dre brings up, right? And to explain to you that Isaiah 53 under Sanhedrin 98:14b. Let me show you how morons these people are. Right? This is what they quoted. And they're saying that this midrash is talking about Jesus, the Messiah, the suffering servant. But let's see if you can figure it out. See if we can figure it out. Because it's definitely about a messianic figure who suffered, who is at the gates of Rome. Hint, hint. He was at the gates of Rome. And he had leprosy. Dun, dun, dun. Why would they think this is about Jesus or the Messiah, the suffering servant? This is clearly about Moses not being able to enter Israel. No.
Moses did it.
Moses has leprosy?
Yeah, and he wasn't allowed to enter Israel.
So he was a leper?
Was Jesus allowed to enter Israel? Yes. So how could this be about Jesus or about the Messiah? And this is the shit they're using. This is embarrassing. And I tried talking to them about it. This is like an L. He took an L for himself. This is embarrassing. Me and Daniel sitting there going, wait a minute, but wait, who's the leper? Who couldn't enter Israel? That can't be the Messiah.
When was it written?
When was it written? You know how the conversation starts? The conversation starts with every conversation about the suffering servant, whether if it's one Messiah or two, or whether if both roles are going to be one person, or they're going to be two separate people, or if they're going to be two separate Messiahs. They don't know. So they're not making a definitive claim. None of these are. These are always a continuation of the last conversation that they're having, and the last conversation, they're just trying to figure it out. They're still trying to figure it out. This idiot is saying, yeah, you got to figure it out. It's the Messiah. Like, you see what I mean? Like, why would they use... Right. What was his name? Not Drea. The other guy. One of the other idiots. This is bad. Me and Daniel was sitting there going, really? This is why you want to use Miro? This is fucking sad.
I'd just like to point out that you have many anonymous in your room, and I think
I
it's...
want them to listen.
Well,
I want them to listen.
what I think
I'm putting out the challenge.
what I think is happening is the title with the heart emoji next to the magic word.
Roomy. Oh.
Yeah, I see the title. But why did I think that?
You want to listen to some Roomy? Okay.
Read him some Rumi. What is Rumi?
Well, before I read to you and create more room in the room, let's all just take the deepest breath of the day.
I thought we had the deepest breath of the day.
You can take the deepest breath of the day as many times as you want. Don't you understand how hypnosis communication works? You can baptize yourself every day if you want. Hello?
And it's not the deepest part of the breath if you got to take another deeper one.
So you say, let's take the deeper, deepest breath of the day. Hello?
Oh my goodness. Hello.
How deep is your breath? Missing Daniel a lot at the moment.
You know, I heard when you're on one of those, like, C-130s and you're about to drop a 60,000 pound load, when you line up the targeting sights on that massive jet over, your target, you generally take the deepest breath of the day and hold it for 10 seconds. It's just like golfing. If anybody here likes golfing, before the wind up, your whole breath is a part of your flow and, your follow through. So it's all about rotation, and you could call that torque. It's a little bit like spinning a menorah. It creates centrifugal force.
You don't spin a menorah, you spin the dreidel, you fake Jew. That's anti-Semitic.
Rabboni Shalom. A dreidel is actually just a very advanced craps game. You don't even need the craps table when you have a spinning, gimbal.
Some people think when you spin the dreidel, you spin it. But in reality, you might be spinning the world. The dreidel stands so.
Oh my gosh! Rabbi, you've taught me some type of Torah today. I never heard it put that way. That's fucking hilarious. Holy shit, Rabbi dropping gems right there. You'd have to dig deep inside to get that one. Where'd you hear that one, Rabbi?
I just came up with it.
Wow! Holy cow, that's a crazy inversion. I've never heard that. That's genius. I can't wait to tell somebody that. I actually have some gold, I have gold ones. Yeah. Have you ever seen the gold ones with rubies, emeralds? Oh, they're so beautiful.
Because just like the dreidel.
Jewish jeweler. I got it at a Christie's auction for $4,200,000.
Shut the fuck up, you.
Rabboni Shalom. I just got back from the Christie's auction in Manhattan.
I had to change the title.
Rabboni Shalom. Why do non-Trinitarians want to use rabbi sources? Hello?
Because I'm smarter than them. Because
I don't know how to
just
spell
like
rabbinical. I don't know how to spell rabbinical sources. I think that's a good one because I don't even want to know how to spell rabbi or rabbinical shit. Who gives a fuck if I spell it wrong?
Hello?
Hello?
Because just like the dreidel, either the world spins the truth or the truth spins the world.
That's like going to Bart Ehrman and asking him to use Islamic sources to prove that Jesus was crucified. It's cool, my love. You know, Mama?
You hear that, Mikhail? That's how you take care of your dog.
Yeah, it's like I can't wait for statistical analysis of these conversations in these rooms and how much of this, when they start being like X and realize, sorry, man, statistically, the numbers don't lie. I'm going to start Jewing people, just like what I do with the Jews and the DNA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, with the BHI and the DNA, Afrocentrists in the DNA, numbers don't lie.
Do you think the
arc? Say numbers don't lie, and then they say angels don't lie. Is there a connection that happens there in the brain? Just saying.
Rabboni Shalom. Do you think the Ark of the Covenant?
It was hips that don't lie.
If angels don't lie, then explain the shaitan.
Right now you're just being a fruit.
Man, that was good. That was good, boy. I like that one. You could use that one on me anytime you want.
Damn.
If
don't lie. Explain the shaitan, Michael.
Shaitan is not an angel, Rabbi. Oh, I'm sorry, Sheikh.
This is why you have to go to the Sheikh, Rabbi.
Shaitan is a
That is
gem.
exactly what you are, Sheikh Rabbi.
So did you know that Shaitan is a jinn? And from the Quranic lens, he's not an angel? Sheikh Rabbi?
Well, from previous sources, he was an angel. And if angels don't lie, then why did Adam get kicked out of the garden?
What do you mean? Expand?
Oh. In the previous revelations, Satan came in the form of a snake and then tempted Adam and Eve. And that's why they were kicked out. But in Islam, there's a gap if they don't go to the previous revelation.
Is this like a genuine point? Do you feel like this is a strong point?
Well, I mean, it's one thing unless a Muslim person can explain it.
Because you have messaged me in the background, so it's like one of the first times you've messaged me, and like I actually prefer those kind of conversations.
Yeah, we can have one like that.
Wow, Rabbanu Shalom. Meeting of the minds. Meanwhile, here I just bought and sold 100 dreidels. Rabbanu Shalom. The miracle of the dreidel. Now I'm spinning you guys. I got a dreidel on my phone. I'm spinning my phone and the earth at the same time with my dreidel.
So then, in the footsteps of the prophets, we said, let me just go with it in Arabic.
Hello? What's happening here? Hello?
Did he say Bayna Yadayhi? Sounds like Megatron's most favorite Arabic word. Bayna Yadayhi.
So we said, and we substantiated those previously with Jesus, the son of Mary, or Isa, the son of Mary, affirming that is what is between their hands of the Torah, and that which we gave him, the Evangelion, which has in it guidance, light, and affirms what is in between his hands of the Torah, and guidance and remembrance to those who are God-fearing.
Man, that thing is heavy. Like 381.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. So, Jesus, actually, there's something here you actually just sparked. And like I said, these are the moments that I'm here for.
What moments?
This is interesting because the Quran is claiming that the Evangelion is going to affirm the Torah that is in between the hands of Jesus. So, not in between the hands of the previous. So that means that Jesus is highlighting this could mean that Jesus is choosing among the Torah. There are like different editions and he's highlighting the true one.
You're getting off topic here. Megatron, can we get back to Trinitarians here? Hello?
Always the question the Muslims are going to hit you with, like, what's the real Torah? Which one? Because if you're going to say, like, Jesus affirmed the Torah, we're all with you. So let's use the Torah.
That brings a new perspective.
Yeah, what is this Torah? Muhammad tells us the Torah, the commandments, and the Hebrew. You're in the matrix, bro.
Hello?
Revelation, but Isa gets confused with when he was the Torah.
Just keep trucking another few miles until we get to cover, so.
Hello? So, Mikhail, I'm trying to compress and summarize what you just said. I mean, basically, you put all three religions into one. Is that what the real Trinitarians are? Is that what the Freemasons do and why they actually take communion with Muslims? Hello?
those Freemasons, they're just regulating the religions, or they believe in these religions to be some sort of like human remembrance. So they believe in like doomsday theory. They have the explanations of these like. There's all these different orders too. You gotta go figure out which order. They all got their special. Just because they share they're all wearing football gear and football jerseys doesn't mean they're all on the same team. They're all playing football though.
Hello?
Have you been into any of their ceremonies?
Yeah,
Like a funeral, like something serious?
I went to nothing serious. I went to a Blue Lodge in Manhattan Beach, and I watched like an awards ceremony, and then I ate soup with them, and the soup was mushroom soup, and it was so bad, and like it was so unedible. I said, how can they actually serve just food which is so bad? Like, you know what? If they can't even get their soup right, like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
Yeah, so there was this creepy moment. I was hanging out with these people, neighbors or, very close people. They're black, but they're high black. They're not, low black. Older.
Wait, are they? I'm sorry, I gotta clarify. Are they African though? Are they from Africa?
No, they're African American. But they have, I don't know, a woman has white ancestry as well, so there's something going on there. Anyways, I don't ask too many questions. They're black. She had a relative. They're older. They're seniors. I met him. He's into this stuff.
It's basically black Hebrew Israelite stuff. Hello?
Next week he's dead. When I'm talking, man, you don't have to keep saying hello, bro.
I'm sorry, I have a hearing problem. I'm a Service Connect disabled veteran. Hello?
Well, dude, they pay you for that shit. Like, what are you...
Or was that how you managed to sit on here all day long? Because I thought if you had to fix laptops, you'd be picking through a fucking laptop. Maybe like cleaning it, taking a dog for a walk. Hello? Sorry, I'm over here buying dreidels. Hello? Listen, Mikhail, it's just called the book club, dude. If we want to read poetry to each other...
something with you, but you don't want to hear it, so fuck you.
Oh, shit. Well, sorry I missed out on that illuminating little tidbit. I'm sure it would have enlightened me even more. Hello?
Is hello how you say like applause or reaction? Like, I think you're thinking yourself too much Joker, bro. Like you're not the Joker.
It's just, something funny to say. It's kind of like, it's a hypnosis statement. It's basically a signaling thing that, African Americans do here on this app. I don't know if you know that is what the joke is that's what African Americans say.
No.
Hello?
Okay, thanks.
You never been in a black room on here and you hear people say, hello?
Just can't believe it. Just like, I don't know, bro. I don't want to get to your age, and this is how I'm talking to people. How do you open these things? I'm tired of this. This is boring, man. I don't have the patience for this. And this is a Nintendo Wii, bro. Portable, these? fucking screens look beautiful though. But I got really kind of interested in this, but I'm gonna keep it because I already opened the box.
Ribono Shalom, we have Rav Dude here. Hebrew. The Hebrews. You know, actually, I gotta go make some coffee. That reminds me. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go Hebrew some coffee.
Word to God, these people got no substance whatsoever.
Oh, wait, hold on. I just picked up a mirror. Bing! Reflection of your projection. Bing! A mirror. Bing! Reflection of your projection. Bing!
I need to stop seeing myself in people. So, more like Pharaoh. Like, I can't be like, I'm like the Jews. I like that attitude. I like I mean, how else to deal with you guys? Like, I used to argue with these guys for your sakes. I used to tell them, no, they were like proving the otherwise. Y'all literally proving their case, man. Y'all gonna be gone if they get their way. I'm just saying. You guys don't know how serious we are. You guys think we're like you guys. Joke around, do this. Our youth are thinking about the day they get their hands on you.
Oh my God. I'm sorry about I'm looking at Narja's.
I'm trying to calm those.
Narja's. Ooh, and look at Cora's PTR. She just dropped her panties. But Cora, after this brief discussion here, Cora, I'm just wondering, would you still choose Mikhail over John? Would you really still choose Mikhail when you don't even know what he looks like right now? But you could watch me live on YouTube and say, yeah, he's actually not bad looking. And if you were to look at Mikhail, he hasn't showered in 3 days, okay? He's got a dog outside of his bedroom which has been shitting and pissing all over the house, schizophrenically about every topic under the fucking sun. And you're going to choose Mikhail over John Kitover, who was going to the gym and went to the gym yesterday and the day before and took a big hot bath with some fucking, fragrance. I'm smelling great, Cora. I'm looking great. Listen, all the inflammation in the sty in my eye went down, Cora. The sty in my eye is gone, Cora. I'm looking like $1 million again, baby.
You guys think that I'm cock blocking? No, bro. Here,
We think you're gay.
You guys can. I'm not cock blocking, man. Y'all.
I don't think you're cock blocking. I'm just making fun of you, bro. I'm roasting you a little bit. I'm having you for lunch, but I got to get to the gym. Pass me the coleslaw, and I'll take another half chicken.
That's coleslaw.
I'm starting to think I should just auction off the first chance to touch my boobies. Like I should auction it off.
Wow. Wait, how many people you got on here? Oh, you got to sign up and monetize your account. I'll send you some gold for those titties.
There are people who would pay. Put that X-ray out.
Look, if anybody wants to
It's still in my profile pictures if you want to see it.
Yeah. I actually have a library collection of all Clubhouse super users.
Daniel screenshotted that and it's uploaded somewhere in a file. A rate number.
That movie is gone. That movie is gone. Bye-bye.
Oh, that movie's gone, so that's just imagery. Okay, it's abstract now. I don't know if that's not making sense, but you got it. Okay. Yeah. There's what is that app? Fortune? Not Fortune. For fan.
I got a good meme. I got a good Protestant meme. I got a good Protestant meme, guys. If Paul was alive today, he would be writing a letter to the Protestants.
Definitely the Lutherans, because every time I go by a Lutheran church, there's always a lesbian priest with a gay flag. And I'm just like, how did it become the gay church? When did that changeover happen to the LGBTQ Church of Jesus Christ? It's a trip, It's a trip. Hello? I don't think people are actually having babies. Narcissus, it's a miracle that you even have a child. I'm 43. I'm childless as far as I know.
It is a miracle. Wow. And I believe in miracles. Do sexy thing.
Sexy thing.
Wow. I believe in miracles.
Illumi, do you?
God, not for nothing, but God killed the fucking son of Jacob because he pulled out. Like, should have fucking, you not think about that?
The pull-out method. Is that also
Actually,
called?
Is it Jacob? No, is it Jacob? Yeah, it was Jacob. Genesis 38?
I thought it was Onan that got fucking in trouble for wasting his seed.
Yeah. Whose son was that?
Esau.
No, it's Judah.
Judah. Oh my God! Is that the Kabbalistic reference to Judas and Jesus Christ? It's the same thing. Either.
Yeah, here it is. There's the in Onan in Genesis 38 was the son of Judah, who was struck dead by God for refusing to fill his delivered marriage duty to his deceased brother's wife Tamar.
That's right.
He intentionally wasted his semen on the ground to avoid producing an heir for his brother.
Look at that.
Onan is a figure of disobedience and misuse of power.
Someday.
He's the older brother. Was he the older? He's the one. The older one died.
Why did the first one get killed? They don't say, right? But he was just disobedient. Fuck, man.
The first one, no, there's something he just died.
No, that was the second one.
It's the Mar Experience.
That was the
It's
second
Thursday,
one.
March 5th, 2026. Like, share, subscribe. Now, this is Christie's. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Here's veiled out origin and necklaces.
I killed him too.
Princesses.
It's a fucking scumbag.
And freak off superstars who have yet to find their soulmate. I pray that you find the true love of your life right now.
Yeah, he married a hooker.
There's a story of God.
He married a Canaanite hooker. And just to think that this is their line to David. This is their line to David.
Rabboni Shalom. I think you guys have.
It literally says there's no, but they don't say any specific reason. It just says he was wicked at the sight of the Lord.
It just says he was a scumbag.
Bro, God did to the Jews what the Jews did to the Israelites. I'm telling you, this is humiliation. You're getting it. This is.
It's a humiliation ritual.
Replacement theory.
Ah! It's a humiliation ritual.
It is. It's a humiliation ritual.
You could call the barbecue party a humiliation ritual as well. Do you think this is a self-roast?
That's right. It's totally a humiliation ritual.
Hello?
And who are they humiliating? Judah. These Jews, going back to Judah, the Judea, and they're claiming authority over them. You guys are bad here. Your ancestor, we know better because we know our history. Dude, it's all humiliation.
Don't listen to him. It's just a religious thing.
Seriously, look at they literally did to them the Aryan
racial.
theory, that whole Aryan replacement theory.
This is a religious
That shit's real, bro. They were sadistic motherfuckers in the ancient world, bro.
They were not always done.
There were very sadistic people, like Pharaoh, for example. That's what Christ
So this is something I've always wanted to try, and it's supposed to look really cool, so I thought I'd see if I could catch it on camera. There's a Japanese patina technique called Nero that's supposed to turn copper a bright cherry red. I added a World War II era Japanese coin design to my EDC fidget keychain collection, so I thought this one would be perfect to try it on. The reaction is supposed to be really fast. You start by adding borax to water. Once it starts boiling, you heat your copper right below melting point. Hold it there for about a minute and quench. Nothing happens for a couple seconds, and then the water erupts and a red color flashes into existence. The alloy you choose makes a big difference. This one here was pure copper and it produces a bright red color, while this one here was a copper alloy. So the color's close closer to maroon. Polishing off the patina on the high spots creates this two-tone effect. For this one, I set a ruby cabochon in the center hole. I really like the way this one came out. If you're interested in any of these or my other vintage...
No.
Art gallery, art dealer, call 212-498-05.
I'm not just too many.
Live. We are here bidding on art. It's Thursday, March 5th,
I don't see anything from the waist
share,
down.
subscribe now. This piece is going for
So
£850,000.
he must be. Oh, wait a second. No, that's a dog. This dog have more medals than fucking MacArthur.
What is wrong with this guy? Is that
Careful, he might get run over.
Oh man, did you just drool all over yourself? Did you just drool on yourself? I think I heard you just drool on yourself.
That was funny. What are you talking about?
Saying you wish her dog gets run over and then you drooled on yourself, laughing at yourself? You thought that was funny? That's so disgusting.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I'm not gonna explain that joke to you guys.
Listen, you guys are live on my TikTok. We now have 1,400 people watching us live. I'm a giant banana. And Rabono Shalom, thanks for being here. I'm sorry you, want to project all day long, Illumi, but...
Okay, let me just hop on that channel. I got TikTok right here. What is it? What is it called?
We got a lot of people here. Wow, I've never seen so many people on my TikTok.
Mikhail, I'll send you a picture of my bare ass for a Bitcoin. Why?
What? A Bitcoin what? Your ass is in the shape of a Bitcoin? Okay.
No, she wants to send you a photo of her fat ass.
For a Bitcoin, I mean, obviously there has to be some sort of transaction going on.
A whole Bitcoin.
A whole Bitcoin. That's nothing. Come on, you can do it. You can give me $1,000. You can do that.
Why, Cora, does your pussy give like an immortal life?
It sprays light.
Immortal life.
She squirts light.
That one episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Jane Krakowski has...
You just keep getting harder the more you pound? Like, is that what happens? Like...
Oh my gosh. Cora does not have a dick. Can you sell me my $1,000, please?
No, we don't. See, he's just demonstrating it. He's like... I think... You know what I think? Not only is he gay, he really wants like a trans woman. Yeah. like a chick with a dick. Like,
I'm telling you guys.
I actually enjoy breaking tougher women. Yeah.
Ooh, see?
Wait, you prefer breaking? What?
What's wrong with fucking hot trans?
I like a woman who
I didn't say anything was wrong with it. We're just trying to figure out what the hell
she's powerful. She's strong. And, I like realigning women back to their feminine energy.
Oh my God.
That's a hobby. I mean, it's wrong, but I've been trying. But that's what men like.
Only a trans woman.
That's why women are like horses. Why do you think they're associated with horses? Men like to break horses.
Mikhail.
Men like to break women.
Mikhail.
Women like
Hello?
horses.
Mikhail, whether you're having sex with a woman, riding a horse, or driving a car, or even coming on Clown House, hopefully.
Okay, when Cora's boobs heal, show her what a real stallion's like. But she already knows. She's been with, like, military special forces.
Damn.
Yeah, she's been getting piped by special forces.
Oh, look, the Jew is back. The Jew, that's tries to come up.
That's not going to be easy to follow up. Like, that's practically.
Come up and glorify the Jew.
Or you already peaked. Life peaked with you. You better go back to that guy. Tell him I want to be your second wife. Like, tell him I'm just your dick. There's no guys who can give me, like, special forces dick. Like, and I don't think he was even circumcised, so you don't even have to think about God and all this.
No, that was the guy after him. Wasn't circumcised, but yeah.
Oh, special forces guy was circumcised. So he's a
Greek
God-fearing man.
Yeah, he's a fucking Canadian Catholic guy, so yeah, he's circumcised.
Oh my God! How did you let a special forces guy go, dude?
Who wants to live that life?
Everyone.
Why? It's not going to tell you anything. It's just going to lie to you.
If it was not that this country had armed forces that were deploying Muslims, I would totally be special forces.
a little excited. But special forces is not even range. Those aren't rangers. They're not rangers.
Get on with it. Patient muncher. You ever try your own gear, Doc?
There are too many family members alive.
You ever thread yourself in?
I'm not sending people
I had a picture of him fishing in Saddam Hussein's private bass pond.
Similar experience. Subscribe to this YouTube channel right now. His veil says.
Listen, Alumi, is it possible that I can invite Rabbi up and you guys not get into a fucking screaming match? Can we have a nice conversation for God's sake?
Who's Rabbi? What Rabbi?
No.
A baptizer?
Ribono Shalom.
We don't have an issue. Just don't know what the.
I'm gonna invite him up because you guys always get into some sort of screaming match.
He always insults me.
You gotta take the end. He's like
No, bro. No.
He's like a New Yorker.
No.
Oh, now you're kind of.
Now it's not. Now he's against Zionists.
Yeah, he knows, and I know, dude. You guys. This is.
You were just praising.
No, bro. He's a.
Yeah, you were just praising the Mossad for taking out the Shia fucking infiltrating.
He's an enemy.
He hates Shias and he hates.
No, they need to know we take this very seriously.
You're sick of him.
No, we're not gonna sit here and pretend. No, just not pretend.
Which B is this?
Now there is respectful dialogue. There's coherent dialogue, but there's no. I don't have to give him any grace. But like I said, we're not crucifying anybody here. They're not doing any inquisition.
Point of order, moderator, point of order. Clubhouse has an exciting new feature called Golden Coins, coins in gold, and I've just purchased $1,000 worth of gold coins. So who here wants $100 worth of free gold coins? Hello?
Nobody.
You don't want any gold coins here on Clownhouse?
What are you running commercials for? Did you watch that Black Mirror? Like that woman who they had to like implant some sort of like hybrid, I don't know, biotech into her brain, and she was like receiving, and she had to give ads, and she lost her job. Are you that? Is that what's going on?
She was every time her intelligence kept. When she became pure consciousness, she became the internet. What the fuck is that?
Wow.
Like that's not pure consciousness. The internet is not pure consciousness. I don't know what the fuck. Why?
She assumed the digital world as a body, so she can transfer mind.
It's the same thing as Lawnmower Man. You remember with Pierce Brosnan? Do you remember Lawnmower Man with Pierce Brosnan when his test subject becomes internet consciousness? Also,
I don't want to do politics. Come on, stop.
Also, Ultron in Avengers, Ultron becomes, the internet as well because he's able to transfer his consciousness, through the global internet.
Correct. He's from the X-Men. So wait a second. So, philosophy. I want to ask you a question.
It's pronounced philosophy.
Yeah.
It's not philosophy. It's philosophy. There's a big difference. It's actually ancient Greek for the love of wisdom, the joy of wisdom.
Philosophy. I want to run you down this argument that Rob speaks runs. Did you know that today? See, he doesn't believe that God is a disembodied mind, right? He says that God is not a disembodied mind, and we can't prove that. But I asked him about evil, and he thinks evil has ontology. So if evil has ontology, is evil not a disembodied mind?
Also,
Make
would
it
that
make
not-
sense.
Yeah, and also would that not be like two creators, for example? Because if evil has ontology and good is all good, and God is all good, then we have two gods. What the fuck? Both have ontology.
Yeah. How does that make sense, Rob?
Well, it's a little bit like a
That's not
window.
Tawhid.
It's a little bit like a window in the house when you put down the shade to block the light, meaning that the essence of Kabbalah is manifestation of light or manipulating light. Light is actually what's creating the whole material world. So the whole thing is basically like being a potter or a creator, really. So this is why people are called the stars, and every man and every woman is a star, and they're all working in Hollywood creating. So you are creating here and synthesizing an experience. And that's really, if Sheikh was here, he would have told you that, I'm sure that. Because I asked, what is a woman? And then I asked, what is a cell phone? And truly, they're both experiences, just like this room. Hello?
Yeah, correct. So good and evil, very well said, would just be like experiences in the Eastern traditions, right? There isn't such a thing as good and evil. They're merely experiences that are subject to cause and effect. Therefore, the karmic cycle, which solves the freaking problem of evil. However, the Gnostics solved it too. And the Zoroastrians solved it too. Because they have evil entities that are ontological, right? So you can point back the evil to the source of evil, which is the lesser god. Similarly, in the Gnostic freaking paradigm. So what Rob doesn't understand is that there are different paradigms and models of God. He wants to push only his particular God narrative or God model, which is, well, not that objective after all. We.
Well, the whole thing, if you read C.G.
He's
Young,
a fucking asshole. How is he going to believe that evil is something that has ontology, but God can't have ontology? God can't exist because evil is greater?
Daniel is awake.
hello, it's 4:20 now. We're getting to the top of the hour. And the whole thing is very immature and childish. And if somebody called me on this app, they said I'm pedestrian. And I hate to say that you're kind of actually just like acting like a fisherman or a spider here with these questions. And I just like to think that all questions are trick questions. And if you know what a Solomon test is, basically it's a shit test. You want to find out how shitty somebody is to see if they have any virtue, or character, or if they're actually just like, fucktards. It's a fucktard test. And so, I want to thank you all for coming to this roast, this barbecue party every day for quite a long time now. And I'll take some more coleslaw and a Diet Coke. Thanks. You see, the truth of the earth begins at your birth, and it's going to end at your death. And if you really think a great God is going to come from the sky and take away everything and make everybody feel high, well, you'll know what your life is worth, but you should seek it here right now on earth. And now you see the light. Stand up for your right to party! Hey! Hello?
Party like a rock. Party like a rock star.
Yeah, party of the rock star. So basically the question is, how do rocks become alive? Hello? Eventually they do. Somehow rocks actually somehow become alive. It's just a joke, Narges. Don't you get it? Rocks and stars, stars and rocks. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going for my afternoon walk through the park. I'm going to go enjoy some flowers and look at...
Don't forget your wig.
I got it. Don't worry. I'm bald. I can put on all kinds of different things on my head. I got no hair. But everything on the top of my head fell down to the front of my face, and I hope my pants fall down tonight. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, man. I wish it was.
I told her that I love you and I want to spoil you and I want to take you to dinner. And she says, I've never had she said, I'm from the Middle East and I've never had a man say he wants to take me to dinner and shopping. And she says, I'm very interested to know you. So, Rabbono Shalom. But don't forget, we only go shopping after we start dating.
Shalom, baby. Forgot the rules of the shalom.
But Mikhail, I got a question for you about the Gnostics. What do you think about the analogy of getting in a car, riding a horse? That those are all like unity experiences, and that's the essence of Gnosticism. You can do it with a book, you can do it with a horse, you can do it with a car, you can do it with a house, you can do it with with your spouse. Hello? Just do it. Do it. Do it.
Just do it.
Rights, right? We talk about the rights, and we're granted in this great country our rights and our pursuits. But we could engage in the conversation of what's our responsibility, and more importantly, what's our mission? What are we here for? What are we doing on this world? Right? And if we can get into our mission and our God-given mission that we all have, which was what makes us all special, created in the image of God, right? As it says in the Constitution. And with that, develop and understand the need that the higher power, the creator of this earth has for each of us, create us with intent. And with that creation that we've all been created and formed in the holy image, now we have the mission to uncover good in this world. Because there is a world of good and those that are hiding good. Things that are hiding good and people that are hiding good. But it's each of our job of the creator to realize that this world is not a jungle, but it's a beautiful garden that we are able to tend to. And we're the nurturers of this beautiful garden that God created and gave us to live in. And we do that by looking out for our fellow human. We do that by looking out for the world that we've been given to take care of. And that's our mission and responsibility, not just our opportunity, but also our responsibility and obligation. I think if we could get into that mindset, we would be able to shift the conversation when each person knows that they are created in the image of God and given a responsibility to tend to this world and make this world even more inhabitable.
Well, Rabbi, I've only known you a very short period of time, but even in our phone conversation earlier, I noticed that you are the eternal optimist. And I got to tell you, from my perspective, because of the work I do professionally, we're dealing with a lot of doom and gloom, both domestically and globally, when reporting the news. But the one thing we always attempt to do, at least when I'm running things during my shift, is we look for positive stories. We call them kickers. To end the newscast, there's a lot of really neat stuff going on in the world that sometimes gets obscured by the negative. So I think your point is well taken.
Thank you. And to that point, the truth is, I know the news, fear gets people to watch the news. Fortunately, positivity, people don't watch that as much, so therefore the news cycle has an interest in keeping people glued to the screen or to the tweet or whatever it is, because that's what draws people and they're afraid. But the truth is, our world We're living in an era better than any time in human history. And we should acknowledge that. And I would say, right, as per the big pushback, that is what the Messianic era is. And I know we have to talk about Messianic era because this is, what came out today. Messianic era is where the world is going to be utopia. It's going to be a place where there is no more evil, where there is no more animosity, where there is no more jealousy, where there is no more hate. You know why? Because the truth will be uncovered. And the truth is that there's a creator, there's a holy one in this, operating this world. And in that space, there's no evil. There's just good. There's no jealousy. There's no war. So we're driving towards, the world is heading towards that direction. The world, there's a website, Our World in Data, that shows how the world, we are living a better quality of life from the Queen of England in the early 1800s. We're living a better quality of life, every one of us here in this great country of America, than the Queen of England in the early 1800s. Is that crazy? Are we not driving towards a better reality?
It's really kind of interesting as you listen to this rabbi speak about contrast that to what Vance Owen says, why the Chabad movement is dangerous. It doesn't sound too dangerous to me, that message. We have another Chabad rabbi who, unlike you, Rabbi Wilhelm, Rabbi Litvin is no stranger to social media. He's an old hand at it. Rabbi, you're very much aware that this kind of hatred has been promulgated on social media for a long, long time now. But when you hear people with as huge a platform as these two, does it even shock you?
So no, it doesn't shock. I was on, in the early days of Clubhouse, I was one of the first Jews on Clubhouse. The founders, back when they still had weekly town halls, dubbed me the Clubhouse Rabbi. And I wrote publicly then virulent anti-Semitism on this app. And the thing is that anti-Semitism is not a racism. A racism says those people think this way. Anti-Semitism is a conspiracy theory. Those people are wrong. Whatever wrong means, that's what those people are. If wrong means tall, they're tall. If wrong means short, they're short. And what anti-Semitism actually is a war on morality. It's a war on the light that Jews have been throughout the ages. It's a war on educating your kids, which is what has made Jews so successful throughout their time. It's a war on community, which is what has helped Jews survive throughout history. So anti-Semitism is a war on morality. So the problem is that immorality leads to anti-Semitism, and anti-Semitism leads to immorality. So it becomes a vicious cycle. So you have someone like Tucker. Tucker's father was a contributing American. He was a CIA agent, which Tucker tried to be, but he failed miserably, like everything else he's done in life. And Tucker was a friend to the people of Israel, was a friend to the Jewish people. It's Tucker's father, I'm sorry. And when Tucker started off in media, when he found success, I mean, he had some crazy ideas, but he wasn't the demon he is today. How that came about is after he was exposed as having knowingly lied on a newscast, and he was fired from his job as a result, and the company he worked for was sued for billions of dollars, he had no place in polite society. The people who would follow him were people who didn't mind the lies, people who are immoral. Those immoral people, by and large, are anti-Semitic. And so he found a new fan base in anti-Semitism. But nothing he is saying is new. He accuses the Jews of being behind the war, as they accuse Jews of being behind World War II, as they accuse Jews of being behind World War I, and Napoleon's War, and the Greek Wars, and the every other war. 9/11. When he said
Jews for the Napoleonic Wars?
They actually accused the Jews of being responsible for the Napoleonic Wars, yes.
That's wild.
So, the interesting part is, why did he choose the word Chabad? He's not someone who acts within Jewish circles. Where do you know this word Chabad from? And the answer is you can find dozens of conversations he's taken part in where he praises Chabad, both for their spiritual influence and for the real world work they do on a daily basis. So if you give me 2 minutes, I'm going to explain what Chabad is in 2 minutes.
Sure. I'm sure you can do a better job than I tried.
Chabad is a 200-year-old philosophy started by a rabbi in Russia named Shneur Zalman of Liadi in the aftermath of what at the time was the worst anti-Semitic attacks in history, which were the Khmelnytsky pogroms in Ukraine, in which 500,000 Jews were killed. There was a tremendous separation between Jews who could afford to study and Jews who were getting by the skin of their teeth, where they weren't marrying into each other's families, they weren't praying together, they were developing two classes in Judaism, and the educated class had become very cold, and the uneducated class felt like they had nothing to cling to. And the Alter Rebbe, Rav Zalman of Liadi, had this revolutionary idea. God has an individual love for you. Now, to all of us, this sounds like, of course, God has an individual love for you. Judaism has always taught that. Except the books that you study to understand God's relationship with us are books you can only study after you've studied Chumash, after you've studied Mishnah, after you studied Gemara and Mishnah Torah. So the average person at that time didn't have access to it. The average person at that time owned, if they were lucky, if they were doing well, they owned a single Jewish book. I own over 3,000 books in my library. That would have made me the richest person in Russia. So they didn't have access to what we have access to. They didn't have access to Clubhouse, where you can come hear a rabbi share words of Torah. So he said, God appreciates your prayers. God wants a relationship with you, and you, each and every one of you, can have an effect on the greater world. Your actions of goodness and kindness can change the world. And he called this Chachma Bina Das, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, the quest to get to know God. So don't just do what God says. Don't just go to Shul on Shabbos and have matzah on Pesach and do all the rules, but get to know God. So Chachma Bina Das, if you shorten it, becomes Chabad. Now, his grandson, who he raised, adopted his name as his last name. He took the name Schneerson. And that is how we have the Rebbe, Rabbi Nachman Schneerson, the seventh generation from the Alter Rebbe, who in America took this message and he expounded on it for a generation that was recovering not just from the Khmelnytsky massacres, but from the Holocaust, the Farhud, the attempt by the Arabs to annihilate the Jews of Israel. You have to realize that when the Rebbe became Rebbe, it was in 1950. There were millions of Jews in Europe still living in DP camps. Jews couldn't return to their homes. Israel had just survived an attempted genocide, and they didn't know if they would survive the next one. The Arab armies were still saying we are going to drive the Jews into the sea. In America, many Jews called it the Treifa Medina, the non-kosher country. The idea that you could keep Shabbos here or engage in Judaism in a thoughtful way was thought to be a joke. There were plays on the street called Jewfits, making fun of these Jews. There were public cartoons in papers saying we don't want Sabbath keepers in our country. The average country club didn't allow Jews. There were signs on major country clubs, no Jews, no dogs. The idea of Jews taking part in the American life, like now, was unheard of in America at that time. This is the America that under a blood libel tried to lynch a Jew in Atlanta. This is the America that in Monastic had a blood libel. A little girl went missing, and they arrested the town rabbi in New York. 20. There was only one person from that incident. That blood libel still alive. It was a little girl because she had wandered into the woods. And by the time she wandered back out of the woods 2 days later, they'd already arrested the Jewish community here in America. So that's the America that the Rebbe accepts the leadership in. And the Rebbe has this revolutionary idea. He says Judaism is going to be available everywhere. Now, we have the benefit of history to know he was right, but it's hard to explain how crazy that idea sounded to Jews in 1950.
So how does that apply to what Tupper is doing today?
So this Chabad organization, the Rebbe spread out first in North Africa to help the Sephardi community who was in deep disrepair, and then to the rest of the world. Today, there are over 12,000 emissaries in countries all over the world. like Rabbi Wilhelm, who are not old synagogues and Jewish schools and providing kosher and helping Jews put on tefillin like Muscat saw someone doing, and all these other things, but also providing tremendous social services. The largest private drug rehab in California is run by Chabad. That 99% of their clientele are not Jewish. Here in Kentucky, we have something called Project Friendship that provides $5 million of brand new apparel to people in need every year. Far less than 1% of the clientele are Jewish. You have Kolel Chabad in Israel, which provides more meals than government security programs does, without checking what the person's religion is. So the reason that Tucker knows this word Chabad is because he's familiar with their good work. To quote President George W. Bush, Chabad saves lives. So he takes the most forward-facing group, the largest group in Judaism, and the most vibrant group in Judaism, and he uses Chabad when he wants to say Jew. The patch that he was talking about that so offended him was a picture of the temple. Now, he claims to be a follower of a Jew from 2,000 years ago who prayed in a temple. That is what he claims to do. He claims to follow a 2,000-year-old Jew who prayed in that temple, and the image offends him so. So, when he says Chabad, he means Jew, because when he thinks Jew, he sees Chabad. He has praised Chabad many, many times before. But now, he's bored of blaming the war on Israel. He's bored of blaming the war on Bibi. He wants to be more direct. But he's a coward, like so many immoral people are. So instead of saying the word Jew, he says the word Chabad, because he knows they're the most visual Jews in the world. Chabad rabbis are often the most vulnerable, although they don't act like it. Chabad rabbis act in public places. Whether it's Mumbai, India, where Islamic terrorists murdered a Chabad rabbi and his wife, or Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia, where 2 Chabad rabbis were murdered, another one was shot, along with many other members of the Jewish community, or in Poway, California, where a Chabad rabbi was shot along with his community, or in the UAE, where a Chabad rabbi was kidnapped and murdered. Chabad is everywhere, and they interact with the greater community at a far higher level than other people. They have a far wider intellectual capacity to give to non-Jews. Non-Jews aren't interested in Judaism, but the intellectual philosophy of the Lubavitcher Rebbe has deeply affected America. It's affected American prisons. It's affected American safety net programs. It's affected American Department of Education, etc. So when Tucker says Chabad, he means Jew. When Tucker wants to go to war with Jews and he's tired of hiding it behind Israel, and again, he is doing so because his followers are immoral. He is doing so knowing it is immoral, knowing it is a lie. It's the knowledge of what he said.
This is the part right there, Rabbi, that really disturbs me, and thank you for that. I think that really puts it in perspective, not only in terms of educating people who don't know what Chabad is, but in putting into perspective what the motivation is of a guy like Tucker Carlson. But you just said, in my opinion anyway, the most important part, and that is he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows he ginned up his narrow-minded followers. I've heard people repeat as if, they are now educated. Many of the tropes that I've heard or read coming out of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, because they follow it. They feel that these are people of some kind of notoriety, and they parrot it. But then when challenged, they don't know how. I'm talking about intellectually challenged. I'm not talking about physically challenged. But when you try to politely engage with them, they have nowhere to go because they don't know what they're talking about. They're just repeating words that they have heard. I'm going to move on, but I want if you guys, the 2 rabbis and Mesquite, if you could stick around. And if anybody has any questions for them, please direct it to them. The trio is welcome to jump in anytime any of you want. I'm going to now start calling people in the order which I see them on the stage beyond our special guests. And that order begins with Howard, followed by Marshall.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you, rabbis. Obviously, a very important topic. And Rabbi Wilhelm, thank you also for the inspirational discussion and, to broaden our horizons in terms of how we should be thinking about this. On a personal level, this also is very upsetting to me just from the standpoint of, and I think Rabbi Lifkin just mentioned, and Gary, you may have mentioned it actually too, about the visual appearance of religious Jews and certainly members of Chabad. Unfortunately, now, growing concern that there's even more of a target on their backs. And on a personal level, I do know Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein of the Chabad of Poway, who fortunately survived an attack in his synagogue that unfortunately claimed one of his congregants, Lori Kay, who also I knew and know her husband Howard fairly well. But long story short, Rabbi Goldstein, he is one of the nicest, most compassionate people that my wife and I have ever encountered. We did live in San Diego for 3 years before we came to Phoenix. And even as we were making the transition for professional reasons, we were going through, someone in our family had a very significant health issue. And even though we already had moved, the 400 miles away, Rabbi Goldstein and his wife couldn't have been more accommodating, compassionate, in contact with us, helping us gain resources in terms of dealing what we were dealing with. And it just saddens me that what Tucker Carlson really has done, he's labeled, he's stereotyped, he's created more of a trope now that could be further from the truth just from personal experience. So I just wanted to share that. It is upsetting, and there's really no justification of it. And the other side of it is you just got to wonder if someone like Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens, who just dramatically has gone off the rails, if it's a way for them just to seize the moment, monetize, create their own audience, and again, not really understanding how someone could even think about rationalizing what's occurring right now and where lives are at stake, and to bring up the Chabad and even the resurrection of a third temple and all that. The timings just could be worse. So anyways, Gary, I just wanted to share that with the room. Thank you.
I would give them some space on what they're doing a little bit, if that were the case, if they're just looking for the likes on social media. I think they're true believers in what they're saying. And I think they recognize that what they are saying does put people's lives in danger. And as I said in my opening salvo, we have a responsibility to stop, all of us do, not just Shai as the moderator of this forum, but we all have the responsibility to stand up and stop that kind of stuff from occurring in whatever manner we can legally do so. Thank you, Howard. We'll go to Marshall, followed by Dave.
Rabbis, thank you for being here. We've got a Chabad down in my hometown in the Rio Grande Valley. The gentleman's name is Rabbi Asher. He's quite a good dude. My dad used to be a radio talk show host. Interviewed Rabbi Asher for Chabad House a couple of times. So, real great impression. I wish to make a statement and then ask a question. The statement would be, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens seem to have gone off the deep end. And it just seems they don't like Jews. They're just looking for Jews to say, well, they don't like Jews. And that's never good. The question is, I heard it said by one of the speakers that Jews have had to worry about their safety. I know several of my friends have had to. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Anyway, what is it non-Jews can do? aside from, standing up, speaking out, making sure that they don't have, the platform to spew their hate, what's the most helpful thing we can do? I'm a Presbyterian Christian, so I, obviously come from a different faith tradition, but what, in y'all's view, what is the thing non-Jews can do to help Jews the most?
Joseph, do you want to try that one?
Marshall, thank you for that question. Fantastic question. And, in Jewish belief, really in all beliefs, I think, but should be, but in Jewish belief, we know that the creator of the world created all of us, created every human. And the good thing about the creator God is he doesn't make mistakes, right? So if he made some people Jewish and some non-Jewish or other faiths, right, that tells us that it's not God's plan that everyone has to be Jewish. But it is God's plan that everyone is part of the world journey, and I'm making this world a great part. So what we all could do, and all really need to do, and which is part of our divine purpose, is to say we're all here, everyone, Jewish and non-Jewish alike, every human on this earth was created in the divine image, then gave 7 universal laws that are really the laws that keep this world civil and moving forward, the great world it is. I'll just share them briefly, right? One is to acknowledge a greater power, right? There's something greater than me, and not to curse the greater power. Not to murder, not to steal, not commit adultery, not to have animal cruelty, and then to have a court system to enforce the above laws. So, a lot of us would say, well, yeah, that's human decency. But knowing and then implanting in ourselves and our children and really the whole world that there is a right and wrong. There is a right and wrong. And call out the wrong when it's wrong and live the right because that's what we're here to do. That's really what it is. What bothers me the most about this whole story is that people like this get such a platform and they get so much attention. I wish they got no attention. I wish they could say what they want and everyone just ignore them. Unfortunately, they're public voices. But if we could bring the world to a more driven state where we're driven by purpose and right, people would say that's wrong and just shut off those channels and stop listening to them. That would be the best thing that could happen. So that's what I think everyone in this world could do. On a very small practical note, if you do know a Jew, see someone is Jewish, say, hey, I support you. In front of my house, we have a big sign that says, I'm proud to be a Jew. And many of my neighbors who are not Jewish will come and say, hey, thanks for putting that up. And I'm like, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Rabbi. We'll go to Dave, followed by Abby.
Yes, Gary and Rabbi. Yeah, I'm signed.
If I could just quickly add on to what the rabbi said.
Sure, of course.
So, to sum up what the rabbi said, there are 3 practical steps that anyone could take, regardless of faith, to combat anti-Semitism. The first is very simply, tell your Jewish neighbors, I stand with you. As someone who grew up a Jew in America, a 6th-generation Jew in America, and someone who has also had their house attacked multiple times, I can tell you when someone says, and sometimes they feel silly saying it, like, yeah, hey, by the way, I stand with you, every single time is deeply meaningful. So the first step is really, really simple. Just saying to a Jewish neighbor, a Jewish friend, hey, I stand with you. The other side of that is when you're in a place where someone is spreading anti-Semitism, to have the courage to say, I disagree, which are some of the hardest words to say ever. To say, I don't agree with that perspective. I don't agree with anti-Semitism. The second step is morality, what the 7 Noahide laws create. Because, as we said, anti-Semitism is immorality in practice. In a moral society, anti-Semitism cannot function. So by living a moral life, you are fighting anti-Semitism, just by the nature of living a moral life. Because where there is morality, anti-Semitism cannot survive. And number three, and it's the most practical, in the neighborhood you live in, I would say within a 10-minute drive of your house, regardless of where you live, because it sounds like you live in America, correct?
Arizona is America. Oh no, that was sorry. Okay. Who was the last one who spoke? I'm sorry. Was it who you?
It was Marshall. It's Texas.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If Texas is still part of America and has not seceded yet, yes.
So for now, it's still America. Within Texas, you can't say 10 minutes because, but within a relative close distance to your house, there is a Chabad house. That Chabad house, I run a Chabad house on a college campus in Kentucky. You know what the number one item is on our budget? Above our mortgage, above food, above our mortgage, salaries of all the staff. The number one item on the 2020 budget is security. Is cameras, is armed security for big events, is where we have to reinforce the doors this year. We have to unify 2 doors into one, because that's what the FBI said is best for the security of the back of the building. So if one has the ability, make a donation, if it's $5, if it's $500, to your local Chabad to ensure the Jewish community has security. Those are 3 simple steps anyone can take. Be moral, speak up with your support, and show that support financially if you can.
Yeah, there's a Chabad house about 15 minutes from me. A temple, a Reformed temple about 10 minutes from me. So it's very close.
You know, my parents were winter Texans. They were neighbors of yours, Marshall. And when I ever went down to the Rio Grande Valley, I exercised my Jewish identity by visiting synagogue there. And so it was a very active synagogue. And I was kind of surprised. I didn't know when I was a young man coming down to the deepest part of Texas whether there would be an active Jewish community, but there was. Thank you, Marshall and Rabbi. We'll go to Dave, followed by Abby.
We have, just so you know, we have a book I just read across, Jewish Scars in Texas. And it's all about the settling by Jews in the state of Texas.
Including Kiki Friedman.
Hey, Kiki Friedman, my gosh.
Yeah. Dave, followed by...
So, I'm a scientist. I study law of nature. Now I'm studying law of spirituality. And I think today's title, as the Rabbi Rivit has said many times, creator, one of the fundamental gifts to every single person is free will. So in the case of Tucker and Orphan, they have the free will, but somehow they choose the other direction. That means the other law I understand is in Exodus. God hardens the Pharaoh's heart. I think in the case of Tucker Ovens, they have the free will, but at the same time, God hardened their heart so that they keep preaching hate against the Jews. So they are doing God's job, but still they have the free will to fight it. And that's the whole idea about Israel. That is the one who wrestled with God, and Jacob become Israel. They struggle with man to become struggle with God. So they are given the free will, and yet they are hardened by God to be tested, and they fail, and they keep on doing something that is preaching hate. So I find these are the foundation of the concept, that there are people who are hardened by God, and if their free will is not strong, then they would do exactly to the other side. But if your free will is strong, then you would choose to struggle with God and end up prevailing. So these are the fundamental principles. I want to ask the rabbi here. There are stories about King David fighting with adultery, killing the woman's husband, and eventually repent and pardoned by God. And there are many characters in Old Testament are like that. Moses killed an Egyptian and then and struck the stones, eventually pardoned. So how is that could be applied to Trump with a lot of mistake in the past?
Well, and that's getting a little bit off subject, but it gives us something to think about, Dave. Thank you very much. We'll go to Abby, followed by...
Thank you, Gary. So,
and Abby, if you don't mind me saying, it's now 5:58 p.m. We will not be inviting anybody else up onto the stage, but we will go into extra time to give everybody on the stage an opportunity to speak. If any of our three guests have to leave early, please let me know so I can thank them and thank you and give you a final word before you depart from the stage.
Thank you, Gary. And it's great to hear the two rabbis and Rabbi Liffin, who I listened to for so many years on the app, and it's just so much knowledge. So it's really a pleasure to hear them. I don't want to be long. I've spent a lot of time in your rooms talking about security, and I want to touch on that. But I did want to say, just as you read the tweets, that the president did give a statement to, and it was tweeted about Tucker. I've just read one. There may be more, but he basically said he has lost his way, and he's not MAGA. MAGA's saving our country. He said Tucker is none of these things. Tucker is not smart enough to understand that. And again, there's probably more that Trump has said, but I did want to respond. Tucker made this personal to the, and help me if it was Tucker or Candace, but it was one of them. I think it's Tucker, that in the theory personal to Trump's family, by connecting Jared and Ivan, who are members, just like so many of us.
That was Tucker, yeah.
So many of us connected to Chabad. And so he basically used that theory that it's the influence of Chabad over Jared Kushner that has caused the war. I mean, it's the most insane thing, but he made it personal to their beliefs, and I hope there's more of a response out of the White House on this, and a strong response, because it's just abominable that he did that. And I've experienced it. I'm not a religious Jew. I spend a lot of time though with Chabad, and I support them, and they've just been wonderful in my life. And one of the things I learned about them that I didn't realize is how much here in my state, and as well as going into the prisons and meeting with people there. I mean, they just have a lot of community outreach. So either connected to Chabad or just generally people in the Jewish community, very fearful of what happened, and this dog whistle. And if this dog whistle, and sorry, my dog is barking as I said the word dog, if this is going to waken up, as we look at the cells we're worried about with the Iranian issue, if this will wake up that very evil, that, as a friend of mine quotes, anti-Semitism is a very light sleeper. It can be woken up very easily. And that's I can't begin to tell you just the reaction today from across the board, at least in my state. And we're taking measures. I mean, I immediately called the main Chabad houses here. I know that they have usually 2 to 3 armed guards in front. Our local Metropolitan Police is ramping up their security right now, and everyone's just scared to death of this. It's to have them named in it. I think to answer the question that was asked on what people can do, when communities get attacked, and our federal government looked at this, and as communities that we have, whether it's the Asian community that had it during COVID, the Black community, the Hispanic community. Our federal government created a security grant system. It's not perfect. Can you hear me okay? Sorry. It's not a perfect system. There's about, I think, committed 800 million. I could be wrong on the number. It's a bit of a problem in that faith-based institutions or institutions that are at risk for attacks apply for it. You have to basically put the money out first to fit your facility and then wait for the reimbursement. And there's some institutions that have waited a year and a half at least for the reimbursement. But our Congress has seen this as it's affected various communities. I mean, we saw a shooting at a Mormon church, and the Archdiocese is now, also preparing, and some of the grant requests for some of their facilities after they've had shooting. But one of the things you can do is talk to your members of Congress on a state level. Some states, there's 12 states that supply money for institutions that are at risk. Money is for security. It's to target harden the facility. And you can, reach out to your state legislators. Right now we have the problem, and the problem's there. So to make sure there's security for it. I mean, to fix the problem is a much deeper conversation, and it sounds like you're having it. But what you can do is know that there are people, in our government that are aware of it and are trying to address it. And it's at a heightened level that, again, all I can tell you is everyone is scared and everyone's on alert. And the bomb threats, the emails, the phone calls that come in rapidly, they're there. Besides all the horrible social media posts that everyone sees, these are real threat to life incidents that we have, and we have hundreds and hundreds of them. And this just wakes up a very, very scary, it pokes a very bad bear. So that's what I want to say. And again, thank you to the two rabbis. It's great to hear them. Thanks, Kate.
So maybe you mentioned the other houses of faith that are also under attack. And as I pointed out in a long posting in our chat, which is linked above, it's my belief that the reason these haters attack religious institutions is because no matter what our faith, those religious institutions are the center of our societies. And so if you attack those centers of society, you are not just spreading the fear among those individuals in that congregation, but to everyone who's a member of these faiths. It's very effective, and that's why it's so onerous, beyond the obvious. Thank you, Abby. We'll go to William, followed by Mary.
Thank you for the room. Thank you, rabbis, for coming.
And Mesquite, don't forget Mesquite.
I assumed she was a rabbi, but I could be mistaken.
No,
I am not. I am a Chabad participant on the Upper East Side.
Okay, by the way, I just want to point out, she mentioned anecdotally something that happened today, that something she posted today, which I happened to see. It's gone viral. I couldn't miss it. And I'm happy to see something go viral that maybe counter a little bit this stuff that Tucker and Owens are doing. But this New York moment, Mesquite was on the subway and some guy started singing. I guess he was trolling for money. It happens all the time on the subways, and some people ignore him, some people give him money, some people enjoy the music, some people are offended that somebody is singing without being asked on the subway. And a friend picked up her phone and started videotaping it. And Mesquite, they don't know each other. She starts singing along with the guy. The guy starts moving towards her. They're holding hands and singing. They don't even know each other. They never saw each other before. They'll probably never see each other again. But we talked about the dirt, the grime, the crime of New York City. But this is part of the fabric of New York City as well. It was really quite the moment. So I just wanted to underscore that. Mesquite, you should actually join the chat above and link it in your phone.
So, yeah, my brother is a member of Chabad Shul, not far from my house in Philadelphia. I attend with him sometimes, and I've learned a lot more about Judaism in that way. I'm a member of a Reform synagogue, also in Philadelphia, and we have had pretty expensive security for decades, and it's been a serious concern. And I've seen, like, around the time of the Tree of Life incident, I saw a lot of members of other faiths coming to the Reform synagogue to say, yes, we're here with you, we stand with you, and that meant a lot to me and the other members of the synagogue. And I appreciate the rabbis telling us, and Makit, I appreciate you sharing with us how we can constructively approach this and help and make the world a better place, as is said in the Reform synagogue. So, I asked my brother if he wants me to go with him on Saturday. He hasn't gotten back to me, but I think it's important just to show up and stand with our broader Jewish community, and that was my thoughts about what the appropriate response to this sort of thing is. I've seen a big explosion of a lot of anti-Semitic, increased volume of anti-Semitic attacks since the start of the war with Iran on Twitter and on Instagram. And where I can, I try to speak up and push back. If you have any other suggestions, I'm open to suggestions. Thank you.
I also want to point out both of the rabbis suggested that folks come and say, hey, we stand with you. This is just to point out that this is not narrowly focused on Jews believing in this with regard to Jews, because the Jewish community has always shown support for other communities that have come under duress. That's part of what we're taught we're supposed to be doing as Jews. So I don't know if it's often the Jews ask for some of that in return, but I just wanted to point out the social justice aspects of Judaism are well documented and have made tremendous changes in our societies. Thank you, William. We'll go to Mary, followed by Tiger.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Gary. Thank you for this amazing room. Thank you, rabbis, for this informative information. I learned a lot. But to answer the question of the room, I want to say that I think Tucker and Candace Owen are not using a real analysis. They're using these kind of statements as a scapegoating and like conspiracy framing. They take a real war with a lot of complication, and instead of talking about the actual decision makers and policies, they replace it with a story that blames a Jewish group. I think that's a classic conspiracy thinking, And I agree with you, Gary, that these people with this large platforms, when taking these kind of when they use these kind of statements and stories and conspiracies, I think it's very dangerous, because it's not only putting Jews in danger right now, as Rabbi explained it beautifully, how they use Chabad to basically target Jews. But I also want to mention that these threats don't stop there. I'm also seeing this hatred towards Iranian communities, which honestly blows my mind, because how confused can the world get? I've been in rooms on Clubhouse, like sharing what we Iranians have gone through and what my people went through, and how many Iranians see this rescue operation as their only hope to survive as a nation. And I get attacked. I've been called Mossad agent or Zionist just for speaking about Iranian pain. That's insane. And
we will accept you, Mary, as a Zionist. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
And to be honest, that does feel we're very alone in this world, and our only friends are specifically President Trump and the Republican Party, and our brothers and sisters in Israel and the Jewish community. I wake up every day waiting for a call from my parents just to make sure that they're still alive. And when they call me, there's actually more hope in their voice than before. Can you imagine that? It's so crazy. And it's so crazy to say these stories to these people when bombs are falling on their head and that's their only hope. But this is the reality we are living. And it's unbearable time for us. And on top of that, we have to fight with these so-called human rights activists who were all silent when our people were slaughtered on the street, and now all of a sudden our lives are important to them and they're calling for no war. It's just so confusing world, man. I'm just so emotional at this point. Thank you.
I know you get emotional when you come up to talk about what's happening to people in Iran, and I know it's difficult for you to share with us. And as in the past, I want to thank you for doing so, Mary. You know, listening to Mary, the day may come when these Chabad rabbis here will thank Tucker Carlson for crediting them for freeing the Iranian people. Anyway, Tiger.
Jeremy, just before Tiger, I thank you for having me. I'm going to have to step off. Talking about Iran, we are looking to open a Chabad position in Tehran. No, I'm kidding, but please God, one day, right? Please God, there is a Jewish community one day, so maybe someone wants to take on that role.
Well, you know, there is a big, as you know, Jewish expat community, Iranian expat community. A lot of Jewish Persians here in the United States, mainly in Southern California, mainly at the Iran market.
Don't tell people there's already
visit that house. But I do know that community a little bit, the Persian community there a little bit. I want to, before he leaves, thank Rabbi Wilhelm. I have a feeling that Mesquite has put us together for a reason, and we will have opportunity to engage in the future, maybe just on a friendship basis even.
I'm looking forward. Thank you all. This was a very interesting journey to go on. And it's wonderful to be in a room with people who care about the world, about the Jewish people, about fellow Jews, and about Chabad. So thank you, and have a wonderful night.
And thank you for your uplifting words earlier, because it is important for us to look at the positive as well. Thank you very much, Rabbi. And thank you, Mary. We go to Tiger, followed by...
Well, hopefully I'll be short. I think we have to recognize that Tucker Carlson was a political journalist in America, which means he's very trained in how to do propaganda. And
is he as well trained as you? Would you rate him as good as you?
The common tools that he likes to use are just the same as any other propagandist, right? There's one that he tries to control the narrative. That's a big one. There's the other one where he appeals to emotion but not analysis. That's people's lack of judgment, and they're easy to be incited to take a very emotional response to half truths or a biased view, or basically or just misinformation. So I guess the first step to combat that is to recognize it first. And it's just the same as how we should combat Gary's lies about me or China. Thank you.
Thank you very much for putting me in the same category as Tucker Carlson. But why don't I have the number of followers he does through my lives? Because obviously it works for him. Then, followed by Eli. He's always interesting, Tiger.
Yeah, no doubt. So thanks to Gary. Thanks for having this room. Thanks to the rabbis. Thanks to Mary for her emotional story there. That's yeah. I don't know what else to say. That was wild. I ironically want to piggyback something that Tiger was saying, but not with the BS. I do think it's important to appreciate what it is that Tucker and people like Tucker and Candace are bringing to the table. Tiger mentioned the half truths. I think they do. They specialize in half truths. I think it's really, really frustrating for anybody involved in the American political system to watch what they do, because outside of their little bubbles, those views are not going to function on their own, right? So, and I could call out on both sides of that, whatever. That's not what this is about. Is Tucker and Candace both function within the conservative, or on the fringe of the conservative movement. They have to have the conservative movement, otherwise their ideas die completely on the vine. So they have to hijack those movements, and I think that's something really, really, really important to make note of. Is that their ideas are just so bad that they have to glom onto something else. I think the other important thing to acknowledge about their in order to defeat their bad ideas is recognizing and calling out the fact that most of what they're saying is unfalsifiable, right? Like, and you see this with a lot of this stuff with the Epstein, and trust me, there's a lot of stuff to do with Epstein that I have questions about. There really is. But a lot of the conspiracy theories behind Mossad with the killing of Charlie Kirk, which is something that Candace Owens is like, that's her big shtick right now, is the Jews are behind the killing of Charlie Kirk. Is as soon as you got this, and I've debated with these people before, as soon as you dig down and dig down and dig down, then it becomes a circular argument, which is either, I think even Mary said something about it in regards to like being called out, being called one of them, or being called a Jew, or being called associated with. They make these unfalsifiable.
Yeah, she was called a Zionist as if that's a derogatory term, Right. You Zionist.
But it's again, it's like a lot of these people, they're using the same arguments and they're unfalsifiable. They just go in circles. So, I don't even bother. I think it's important to call them out. And I think that, look, I'll just say, I'll finish with this. Like Charlie Kirk, who is somebody who you can absolutely disagree with, and I have absolutely every degree of respect for people who disagree with what Charlie Kirk pushed. But one of the biggest things that he pushed was having the marketplace of free ideas. The marketplace of free ideas obviously does not mean the freedom from consequences, but the marketplace of free ideas also means calling out bad ideas. And Charlie Kirk did that, and I think that's the reason they're so willing to go after him now. Is because Charlie Kirk said, yeah, look, we want to have good ideas that absolutely bring us to the light. But I have no issue with shutting down ideas, but shutting down bad ideas, that's where I stand. So let's recognize first and foremost, and it's Andrew Tate, it's all of these pieces of human debris. Let's acknowledge the fact that those are pieces of the guys who are not even audience that want to listen to that stuff because they are half-truths. And it's important to recognize that they're half-truths, and it's important to call out their unfalsifiability of it. And again, Gary, I appreciate you calling this out, because this is been such a thorn in my side when it comes to the far right and that kind of thing. It's like, as a more moderate person, it's so infuriating. I mean, you literally had Nick Fuentes, who's in the same category as them, saying that his followers should not vote Democrat. That's fine if you want to vote Democrat. again, this is a guy who's trying to hijack a right-wing movement. So just to give you an idea of how far back around he's gone. So, but anyways, yeah, God bless to all, and again, appreciate you hosting these rooms, Gary.
Me and Bill, more than you can chew with the president signed this to that's very, really quite violent.
Yeah, and Abby brought that up, right? Like, I mean, even Trump is like, yeah, these guys are nuts.
Thank you guys so much. I just have to step out, but this was such an interesting conversation, and I really appreciate everyone's inputs.
Yeah, Mesquite, you are welcome here anytime, and I may actually bend your arm to return sometimes if I don't see you. I know you're a very, very busy young lady, but anytime you can find to join us, everyone here would be appreciative.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your contribution today. Jim East, you get the last word, and then we'll let the rabbi say some final words as well. But Jim, you're up. Takes Jim a few seconds sometimes to find the microphone. So,
hey, 45th Ward, we are highlighting another local business today.
Wait, Jim, you with us? Maybe he's not here, so I don't know. Because he's usually provided by now. Rabbi, you actually get the last word. First of all, I want to thank you very much for joining us, coming out of Clubhouse retirement for this session today is a great
I'm not on here. We'll have to see what happens. It was pointed out by one or two people that Trump had called out Tucker Carlson today. It's very important to note he did not call him out for this anti-Semitic rant. He called him out for undermining the American war effort in Iran. But it's also important to mention those two things go hand in hand. Because let's be very clear, selling out your country and separately choosing the mullahs over the values of America is an immoral proposition. So it's the same immorality that drives his anti-Semitism is what drives Tucker to be a traitor. So Trump doesn't mean to call out the anti-Semitism, but he is. However, I think it's important to point out the reason that someone just mentioned, Nick Fuentes, is willing to say vote Democrat is he feels he doesn't need Trump.
Maybe
because he has his crazed followers. And what's very important to note is Candace Owens did something incredible over the last 4 months. She took a political movement of 500,000 people and decimated it. But she could not have done that without the violence of Tyler Robinson, the man who murdered Charlie Kirk. Well, that is the best thing that ever happened to Candace Owens. And she is extremely excited that happened. And it's helped promote her and give her a whole new lease on her career, which was slowly dying. She could not have done it without the violence. So the problem, the true problem with the Tuckers and the Candaces, etc., is that all it takes is one person to say they're right. All it takes is one person to read a tweet where Candace Owens says, there is a Chabad house in your neighborhood. Google. And for them to Google and say, hey, look, Chabad, which has, again, 12,000 emissaries of the Lubavitcher Rebbe around the world, spreading light, spreading love. There's a Chabad in my neighborhood. And Tucker and Candace and Ian Carroll have all told me how evil this organization is. Let me take an action. But there's another side of that, too. Just like it only took one person to commit this horrible act, each and every one of us have tremendous power. When we individually speak out for morality, speak out against anti-Semitism, stand with our Chabad community, show up at our Chabad houses this Shabbos for Shabbos. The greatest response we could make to Tucker and Candace is show up to Shul on Shabbos. Go to your local Chabad, especially if you've never been there before. Say to the rabbi, I stand with you. If you're not Jewish, call the local Chabad house. There is a local Chabad in your area. Google it. As Candace told you to. Google it. Reach out. Say, I support your community. Because just like it takes one act of evil, it takes one act to change the world for the good. There was only one George Washington. There was only one Winston Churchill. These single acts. And lahavdil, there was only one Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi who founded this Chabad movement that now reaches 6 million Jews every year. All it takes is one act to change the world, and each and every one of us could be that agent. Make your choice well.
Well, when it comes to visiting Chabad houses, I will put yours and Rabbi Wilhelm's on my bucket list. Who knows? I may be in Kentucky, traveling in my van. I like traveling around in my van. I love Kentucky. Beautiful.
Bourbon, come on by.
All right, I will let you know ahead of time so you can prepare yourself for the onslaught of Gary. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. New York time. So until 5 p.m. New York time tomorrow, for the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum, everybody be safe, be well, and peace out.
Conflict arises. It's how you handle it, right?